Welcome, focused learners, to another edition of The Explainer. Today, we're bringing some serious, absolutely necessary tough love to a massive problem plaguing living rooms and home gyms literally everywhere. We're talking directly to those of you, yeah, you know exactly who you are, who've been grinding out push-ups every single day, building up that chest, flexing those biceps in the mirror, but completely ignoring the actual foundation holding it all up. It is time to stop hiding behind baggy sweatpants, guys, and finally address the absolute necessity of lower body training.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a highly structured bootcamp itinerary today. First, we'll diagnose the leg day problem. Then we're going to walk through the 4 key movements to fix it. And finally, we'll hit you with the lifestyle reality check. Let's jump straight into section 1, the leg day problem.
So this is the hilarious, but frankly pretty harsh, reality of skipping lower body training to focus strictly on upper body aesthetics. It's an incredibly common rookie mistake, right? But the visual results of this imbalance? Absolutely impossible to ignore. The source material captures this absurdity perfectly. When you only train your upper half and then put on a pair of shorts, quote, you look like a walking Wi-Fi signal. You know, massive and wide at the top and completely weak and pathetic at the bottom. Seriously, the source points out you basically end up looking like a poorly drawn alien sending distress signals back to the mothership because your legs are so fragile it's a joke. It's a brutal visual, for sure, but it hits the nail on the head regarding why we absolutely must balance out our physiques.
Now, before we actually start moving, our source establishes an absolute core rule. Perfect form is the only thing that builds muscle. Just going through the motions is not enough. You've got to do them perfectly. Rushing through reps without paying attention? That's a massive rookie mistake. Proper form is absolutely non-negotiable if you actually want to build those tree trunk legs safely and effectively. So slow down, pay attention, and focus intensely on the muscle.
Moving on to section 2, the 4 key movements.
Welcome to your rapid-fire masterclass covering the 4 essential leg exercises that'll completely transform your lower body right at home. First up, the squat. It's the king of all leg exercises. It destroys your quads and builds raw pushing power. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast in how you execute the movement. You need to plant your feet just wider than shoulder width, point your toes out, keep your chest up, and drop your hips back. What you absolutely cannot do is just drop down and collapse like a greedy child at a birthday party diving for dropped candy. It's all about controlled power, not a reckless drop. To really see results here, you need to hit 4 sets of 15 to 20 slow, deep, truly burning reps. And listen, if basic bodyweight squats start feeling a little too easy for you, don't just speed up. Add some resistance. Throw a heavy backpack on or hug some heavy dumbbells tight against your chest to keep challenging those quads.
Movement number 2 focuses on the hamstrings. You see, most guys only care about the muscles they can actually see in the mirror, which is a massive, massive rookie mistake. To fix this, we use the Romanian deadlift, or RDL. Notice the posture difference here. You do not want to look like a scared cat with a totally rounded spine. You've got to keep your back rigid and flat. Grab that heavy backpack, keep a slight bend in your knees, and hinge your hips straight backward. You should feel a huge, deep stretch right in the back of your legs.
For RDLs, you're aiming for 4 sets of 15 reps, but the real secret sauce is in the return. Once you feel that deep hamstring stretch, you need to explode back up and violently squeeze your glutes at the very top. Push through these reps and make those hamstrings literally scream. That is exactly how you build a complete, balanced leg.
All right, move number 3 specifically targets the glutes, and the source makes a really fascinating point here. Weak glutes cause terrible posture and serious lower back pain. If you neglect them, you end up walking around looking like a melted candle. To fix this, we're getting down on the floor for glute bridges. The mechanics are simple, but totally crucial. Lie on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet flat, drive through your heels, and thrust your hips straight up toward the ceiling. Most importantly, you absolutely must hold that top position for 2 full seconds.
And while you're executing this, please avoid wiggling around on the floor like a dying fish. You need strict, total control. Squeeze your glutes at the top like you're trying to literally crack a solid walnut between your cheeks. I know, but that is exactly the level of tension required. And hey, if 4 sets of 15 reps of the standard movement feels like a walk in the park, challenge your ego. Lift one leg straight in the air and knock out some single-leg glute bridges. I promise you, that will absolutely humble you.
The 4th and final movement is for the calves. Look, first of all, stop blaming your genetics for your tiny calves when you aren't even training them. Find a stair, a thick book, or a sturdy box. Stand on the edge with just your toes. The absolute worst thing you can do here is bounce around like a startled kangaroo. Bouncing is just cheating, guys, because it relies completely on momentum instead of actual muscle. Instead, focus on what we call a controlled explode. Drop your heels all the way down for a deep stretch, explode up onto your tiptoes, hold the top for a full second, and then strictly control your way back down.
Now, calves are notoriously stubborn, so we really need volume here. You're gonna push through 4 sets of 25 burning reps. To maximize this, grab a heavy water bottle in each hand for extra weight. High reps, deep stretch, controlled explosion. That's how you force your calves to grow.
Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds into the final piece of the puzzle, the lifestyle reality check.
Because here is the final brutal truth. You can do that perfect 4-movement routine until you literally collapse on the living room floor, but if your behind-the-scenes habits and lifestyle are garbage, all that training is totally useless. The first major hurdle is your diet. And this brilliantly illustrates why you cannot train hard and then go straight to the kitchen to eat like an unsupervised toddler at a pizza party. Shoving cake, junk food, and sugar into your body completely sabotages all your hard work. You absolutely must transition to core, clean nutrition.
There are 3 non-negotiable nutritional pillars you've got to respect if you want to stop acting like a rookie. First, you need real protein to actually rebuild the muscle tissue you just broke down. Second, healthy carbs to provide the energy required for these intense workouts. And third, good fats to maintain your hormonal balance. Eat clean and actually give your body the building blocks it needs.
The next massive pillar is recovery. Muscles do not grow while you're working out. They only grow when you're resting. Making sure you get 7 to 8 hours of deep, quality sleep every single night is absolutely mandatory for muscle growth.
So, the crucial point is, you really need to take a hard look at your sleep habits. If you're acting like a caffeinated squirrel, doom scrolling on your phone in the dark until 3 a.m., your legs are gonna stay tiny, period. You have to prioritize deep, restorative, muscle recovery rest over those late-night distractions.
And here's the final heavy hit to keep in mind, a number that should honestly haunt you every time you even think about skipping a workout. 1. If you skip a single leg day, you delay your overall physical progress by an entire week. 1 missed day equals 1 lost week of building that foundation. It's a massive setback.
So, it's time to stop acting like a weak rookie and finally build your foundation. If you survived this reality check today, I have a question to leave you with, straight from the source material. What heavy object are you using for squats today? Go grab that heavy backpack, secure those water bottles, get your form locked in, and let's get to work. Thanks for joining this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and stay strong.